Welcome to Full Focus, where I'll be talking about underrated players in the NBA. Today's player is Immanuel Quickley from the New York Knicks. Quickley was drafted 25th overall in 2020 by the Knicks. Throughout his first 3 seasons, he's averaged 12.5 points, 3 rebounds and 3 assists on very solid efficiency, 42% from the field and 37% from 3. He came into the league as a guard that can shoot threes and bring pace coming off the bench. Last season, he had a breakout year, averaging 15 points, 4 rebounds and 3.5 assists, earning him second place in 6th Man of the Year voting. He's also an above-average free throw shooter. In his first 3 years, he shot 86.4% from the line. In fact, last season, he got to the line 248 times and was ranked 63rd in free throw attempts. Although it may not seem very impressive, only 5 players who came off the bench in at least 60 games had more free throw attempts, and only 2 of those 5 players shot the ball better than Quickley at the line. These players were Benedict Mathurin and Austin Reeves. Immanuel Quickley brings so much energy coming off the bench. He's the leader of the Knicks' second unit. He pushes the pace and is a real problem for the opposing team's defence, as they often have no one to guard him. He did, however, start in 21 games last season, mostly when Jalen Brunson was hurt. The Knicks actually won 12 games when Quickley was a starter, and I think that's pretty good for a young player. He actually averaged 22.5 points in those games, so he's shown that he can fit that starting role and step up as a player. As I mentioned before, Quickley is a very good 3-point shooter. He's a talented catch-and-shoot player, as you can see in these 2 plays. Here, Josh Hart passes the ball to Quickley in transition as Anthony Simons tried to intercept the ball after a fade by Hart, leaving Quickley wide open to walk into his shot. In this play, Barrett is going to drive to the basket as Quickley relocates behind the 3-point line. Barrett then passes the ball to the open Quentin Grimes in the corner, but KJ Martin is able to close out on him, so Grimes passes it to Quickley, who drains a 3. However, he's also good at creating his own shot. Here, Hartenstein sets the screen for Quickley, which leaves him open for a 3-point shot. I like how he doesn't take unnecessary dribbles, which is often a flaw when it comes to young guards. Last season, he developed a great floater, which he continues to use at a high rate. Look at these plays where he scores off floaters. In this first play, Quickley does great at taking the screen, which puts him a step ahead of his defender and gives him a lane to score a nice floater. Again, you see him taking the screen set by Hartenstein, leaving him matched up against Nurkic, and notice how Quickley drives to the right as he sees Nurkic's left foot being in front. That way, Nurkic has to switch the other way, and he isn't the fastest guy, so that leaves Quickley being able to get his shot off. This season, he's averaging 16 points, 3.5 rebounds and 3 assists on good shooting splits, 44% from the field and 38% from 3, and a career high 89% from the line. He's also shooting the ball pretty efficiently from mid-range. He's currently averaging 53.1% on his mid-range shots. In fact, he's ranked 24th among guards in shots taken between 10 and 16 feet away from the basket. Immanuel Quickley is averaging more points than last year despite playing less minutes. He's making very good use of the time he's being given on the court. The starting shooting guard on the Knicks is Quentin Grimes, who's had a slow start to the year, but he's still a very underrated defender and fits well alongside Jalen Brunson. I believe that from a purely offensive point of view, Quickley should be a starter because of his stats so far, but that would only weaken the bench despite him being a respectable defender as well. As I said before, Immanuel Quickley is great, especially offensively. In fact, he's second in the entire league in total points scored by bench players at 277, right behind Cole Anthony, who's only 3 points ahead of him. And Quickley is first in points per game among bench players at 16.3 points per game, as he has played less games than Cole Anthony, who's second at 15 points per game. In that same category, Immanuel Quickley is ranked 62nd overall in the NBA in front of players such as Nikola Vucevic, OG Anunoby, and even Klay Thompson. If he carries on playing this well, I have no doubt he's got a chance at winning 6th Man of the Year. Also, he's 19th in total assists this season among shooting guards at 50 assists, which is quite good for a player whose main role is to score. Finally, Quickley is so fast on the court. Look how fast he runs to the other end of the court to get a layup. You can see how fast he is in almost every game. To finish off with his offensive contributions, he's tied with Paul George, Bam Adebayo and De'Aaron Fox in offensive win shares at 1. Offensive win shares are an estimate of the number of wins contributed by a player due to offense, so that shows how good he is offensively. Overall, I really like Quickley's game. He can create so many problems for the other team's defence, and I hope he continues playing this way, as he's well on track to getting that 6th Man of the Year award. He's on the last year of his deal with the Knicks, and I think they need to do everything to keep him on the team. This was Full Focus, and next episode is Derek Lively.